Hi people, it's Archivist here, and we're back with some Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the newest Ground War map, as I've been making this video. The Palace map from 10v10 has been repurposed as a Ground War map, and amazingly, for me at least, it seems to work phenomenally. It's a fantastic map for 32 versus 32, which is interesting because in 10v10 it was probably my least favourite map, and I'm glad they removed it from the rotation, but here, with 32 versus 32, it fits like a glove. I would almost say that the map size against a player count is better than any map in the game apart from perhaps Shoot House. I feel like this and Shoot House are so well calibrated for their size against their player count. So, such a great map. Infinity Ward, thank you so much for adding it. But this is not going to be about me praising the Palace map and loving Infinity Ward. This is going to be a bit of a rant, to be honest, guys. And I am going to repeat myself because this is an issue that continues to be in the game. It's something that everyone's talking about, whether you're in support of it or you're against it, but it's something that has just not gone away. And the reason people are talking about it now and will continue to talk about it is because it's still here. You know, people won't ignore this issue if they're forced to face it every time they play. And you can probably guess what I'm talking about. Just have a little guess, what am I thinking of here? What am I trying to say? What's this thing that benefits some players and doesn't benefit others and is a change from the way we usually play COD? Of course, it's skill-based matchmaking, it's SBMM. So the idea of matching players against other players of equal skill, which in theory sounds fine, but in the long run of playing the game, it is so wearing and so tiring, so fatiguing, and the thing is, it just isn't fun. That's the worst thing, it's just not fun. So the reason I love Ground War isn't just because I admittedly do just like the mode. I think it's a well put together mode. It's a nice mix for me of the Call of Duty style and the Battlefield style, so I can appreciate Ground War quite a lot. So I'm happy to stay here and play exclusively in Ground War, but the main reason I am here is because Ground War, I think simply due to the larger player count, is not subject to the same strength of skill-based matchmaking as Domination. And every time I just want to have a little try of Domination, because traditionally I really enjoyed Domination in previous Call of Duty titles, I just find myself going against players that I cannot have fun against, I cannot compete against. They're hiding in corners, they have reaction times that just seem to be quite frankly inhuman. They're all really good, like the whole lobby is really good. I cannot have fun against it. I have to resort to the cheapest tactics in order to get an edge. And if I manage to succeed, if I manage to do well with one of those games, what's my reward? Even harder players next time. So if I manage to win, it just makes things harder for the future. The incentive is just lost on me. So I have found myself playing Ground War pretty much since day one as my main mode. I used to be about, 3/4 Ground War, 1/4 Domination, but as time has gone on, I've moved almost exclusively to Ground War. One thing I will say is great from Infinity Ward is that they have introduced more maps over time. I think now we have about 5, and for me 5 is enough for it to be a mode that I can really put a lot of time into, especially as the maps are so big. But I feel like I'm losing out because I want to play the smaller modes, and every now and then I do, but they're just not fun. They're not satisfying. Like, if they're not fun, I can't enjoy them. And this is not an exclusive opinion to me. So many people are talking about this. And it's crazy, like whenever there's something on Reddit or there's something on Twitter and there's something that comes from Infinity Ward, for a time, like the top response was fix the 725 shotgun. And they did that. Fantastic. Well done, Infinity Ward. But something that has been there since the dawn of this game and continues to be there is remove skill-based matchmaking, remove SBMM. Now, to be clear, I'm actually not in favour of it being removed entirely. All I wish for it to be is calibrated to the level of Modern Warfare Remastered. That is my stance on it. I will not shift from that. Modern Warfare Remastered had matchmaking that I could not argue with. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. And I just wish they would take that and put it here. I've said it so many times before. I'm not saying remove it. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm saying calibrate it to what it was before. Because I really can't remember anyone complaining about the matchmaking in Modern Warfare Remastered, and I myself certainly had no issues. So whatever they were doing there worked. So why change it? Why try to fix what's not broken? Because you've actually, in my opinion, made it worse. And I would also try to make a point to the newer players who, in theory, benefit from this system, because what it will do is if you're a newer player, you're still getting to grips with the game, it will protect you from the very good players because you won't match against them. So in the short term, yes, it will benefit you. It is a good system. And it's actually the reason we used to have boot camp matchmaking before, where under a certain rank you would be matched against other players of the same rank. And I thought that was a good system to protect new players. But when you have such all-encompassing skill-based matchmaking, what that means is, as you continue to level up, as you continue to get better, you won't feel it. You won't get that satisfaction that so many of us have had in previous Call of Duty titles where we improved and our averages got better. Our win ratio, our KD ratio began to improve. You won't feel that. So even though at the moment you're probably thinking it's a good system and it works for you, as time goes on, you will find it oppressive as well. It's a short-sighted thing to be on the side of because, look, none of us started amazing. No one started a great player. I mean, to be fair, I'm not calling myself an amazing player. I'm calling myself an experienced player. And I'll quickly show my stats to show exactly where I am in terms of that experience. I'm not some crazy pro league player. I'm just someone who's played the franchise for a while and has got, some decent stats as a result. But no one began like that. In COD 4, I was crap. I remember being so terrible at online in that, but I accepted it because I knew I'm a new player. This is how it's supposed to be. I don't have the experience that these other players have. And even into Call of Duty World at War, I was still crap. I did have a KD above 1. My win-loss ratio, actually I don't remember it to be honest guys, but I was shit. I was good against my friends because they were new too, but online I got destroyed. But that built me up. And then by about Modern Warfare 2, started to do decent. Got a few high kill count games, some decent kill streaks, and I think I went over 1. I can't quite remember what my KD was at the time, but it was decent. It was an okay game. And then by Black Ops 1, I was very proud of myself by Black Ops 1. After that, I started to chill out on the franchise and went a little bit down, but by Black Ops 1, because I had started on that first game and built my way up, the sense of satisfaction was really gratifying. But you won't get that if you support skill-based matchmaking or a new player, because yeah, you'll start off better than I did. You'll start off doing better on average because you're a new player against other new players forever, indefinitely. But what about when the next game comes out, and that also has skill-based matchmaking? And although you have actually improved, you have actually got more skillful as a player, you won't be able to tell that because you're still fighting against the same level of players. It will be relative. It will be an averaged system, so you won't get any better. You will get better, I don't dispute that, but you won't feel it. And quite frankly, if you're not feeling yourself improve, what's the point? Unless, of course, you're becoming some pro league player and you're getting some financial benefit from going up against high level players. But if you just play this game for fun, like I do, and you're playing online and you've gotten better and you want that ability of getting better to make you feel better, you won't have that. You won't get that with this franchise anymore if skill-based matchmaking is pursued, because that is my concern now. It's not just Modern Warfare. It's if they're implementing this system here, why not in the next Black Ops game or the next Sledgehammer game, whatever future Call of Duty titles we see? Is this going to be the standard now? And the idea of this being standard really scares me. In Modern Warfare, quite frankly guys, if Ground War was not a thing which allowed me to escape the strong matchmaking system, the strong skill-based matchmaking system, I wouldn't be playing it. I wouldn't. I would be so worn down from the constant, overly difficult matches that I wouldn't be having fun. I wouldn't be enjoying myself. Look, if it was like a job for me and I had to play it, then it might be different. I would keep going for that reason, but it's not. I play this game for fun because I bought it to enjoy it, but I'm not enjoying it. So that's sort of my message overall, guys, is that I understand that skill-based matchmaking will benefit a lot of you. And I shouldn't say it exclusively benefits newcomers, because it will also benefit players, I suppose, who would traditionally always play ranked matches. So now it means that the whole game is set up like the way you like it. But most people don't play ranked. A lot of people do, but not most people. Most people would play the casual for fun mode, and now they're forced by default into ranked mode. And also one final thing, guys, one slight cynical thought I've had about this whole system is that it's to do with the battle pass. So although I think the battle pass is quite fair and certainly an improvement over Black Ops 4 system by a long shot, what if this system is designed to keep all players progressing through the battle pass at a super even rate, because no one's doing really well in any given match, so that even if you're a really good player, if that free weapon is at the very far end of the battle pass, you may be tempted to go and buy it with real money to get to it quicker, because you just can't get those really good games that would otherwise accelerate you through it. What if this is a system designed to create a uniform progression through the battle pass? So even though you might be thinking this is something to protect new players, what if it's not? What if there's a slightly more cynical business reason behind skill-based matchmaking, particularly given the Infinity Ward simply will not address it, unlike many of the other flaws that they at least talk about in the game? Something to think about, I think. As always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.